suspected members of a baby factory syndicate have been paraded at the state police headquarters. They are accused of selling newborn babies after delivery.
And well, I'm happy that I'm alive because I never knew the plan of the doctor concerning me. Whether his plan was to kill me or...
What's that? God, you took my baby away from me.
At times, the pregnancy will not be due, but when it is between 7 to 8 months, they will induce them and get the baby out and sell this.
It's really a humanitarian crisis in Nigeria. There are all kinds of people involved in this whole cycle. It's a system, it's a cabal.
This is a story based on the inner workings of child harvesting and baby factories in Nigeria. Behind sealed doors, a silent, stifling crisis eating up our country like a cankerworm grows slowly. The world of child trafficking stinks. Babies are the commodity. The stolen innocence of our young girls are sacrificed on the altar of the filthy lucre. Baby factories and child harvesting hidden in plain sight. Illegal adoption, a sinister thread driven by greed, lust for fortunes, and timeless pain infiltrate our country. According to 2006 UNESCO report, the crime ranks the third most common crime in Africa's most populous nation after drug trafficking and financial fraud.
I came to realize the scope of the sale of children some years ago, about 2018. And after that, I was alerted. I decided to do some investigation and some research on my own. And what I found worried me. I even went undercover to try to see if I can adopt a child. I was connected to some nefarious characters.
If you say you want a male child, they will tell you, okay, a male child goes for 3.5 million naira.
Is that we have some clinics, we have some orphanage homes are doing that. The home, some is even owned by some religious body, and then they are doing that.
You see, some of them will have a normal living apartment somewhere, operates a prayer house or a mini church somewhere, and have a camp in a different location.
Very clandestine in nature that it may be happening here without people knowing that the thing is taking place. So much is involved because of the gain they make out of it, the proceeds that come out of the crime. People find it difficult to let go.
When girls get pregnant, because of the stigmatization, most parents would disown them. So in a bid to get shelter, in a bid to, some of them want to go to pharmacy to get medications for abortion, where somebody will tell them, oh, no, we can help you. And that's how the market starts.
What are you still doing here? Did I not tell you to go back to the person you are going to stand up, go back. What do you mean? What are you for? Yeah, you are aborting that child. You are aborting that. I don't care what you want to do. How can you tell me that your family does not accept you? You are aborting that child. I can't take care of it. Now what's this?
I was 19 years old when I got pregnant with my boyfriend. When I told him about the pregnancy, he told me he wasn't ready to become a father and that I should do away with the pregnancy.
You have to abort the child. You will have to. Whether you dare try, I don't forgive. You are aborting that child.
Oh, never wanted to do that. So I told him my wounds. Then he now said that since I don't want to do the pregnancy, that the relationship is not going to continue. So I have to leave his house and was staying with a friend. And my friend introduced me to a clinic where they sells baby, like you deliver and you sell your baby there. I went there and the doctor told me that he wants the child, and after everything he will give me some money and he will make me happy, but he never mentioned a particular amount for me. So while I was there, a friend came in. She came in with pregnancy that day, and the doctor gave her drip. She was on drip throughout the day. And at midnight, the doctor came and took her away. Then after that, she came back, but she was not with her child. When I asked her, she said she'd given the child away, that the doctor is with the child. So while we were still there, the next day, the doctor gave her 200,000. That was what she told me. And she left. On July, I've really forgotten the date. That's when the DSS came in and rescued me from the place.
Technician. I work at the clinic where our director deals with baby. There was this one that happened when a woman was pregnant and then came in for delivery. She was not actually pregnant. My director injected her with something and then her stomach was swelling as if she was pregnant.
What I can simply say there is that it is their fibroid that will be growing, because those drugs will go and make the fibroids to grow faster. And when they see themselves, and they will think that they are pregnant.
Those signs that they tell you, oh, this pregnancy, you cannot go to hospital, you cannot do scan, those are all red flags that you are about to be given someone else's children.
There's another little girl about 16 years, which they brought in 1 hour before the woman came. It's that 16 years old girl put to bed, I think 8:13 in the night, while this woman came in around 9:30. In the night, claiming she was in labor while she was not. When the husband stepped out, they now exchanged the baby. They collected that 16 years old girl baby, gave it to her, and then they paid the girl 300,000 naira.
You know, we have a lot of paternity fraud now all over Nigeria. Everybody is singing DNA, 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 DNA. And it might be also a reason of this cryptic pregnancy and child selling. You know, wives get involved in this thing without telling their husbands, you know, and then they go and get children and the husband will not know that this is not his or her child. And then we also have children being replaced, you know, they exchanged in hospitals.
Unfortunately, there are some innocent victims of this, where a girl got married and this person do not have a child of her own. He become desperate. And these traffickers will now tell you, we have Madam ABCD that can treat a woman to become pregnant. Some even go as far as tearing you and blood will run out from your vagina making you to believe that you actually put to bed. And by the time you recover from the inducement, the next thing they will do is to give you a baby and tell you go and do Thanksgiving. They'll give you with the placenta and everything because they pick it from the real mother and deliver this child to you.
These perpetrators are masters of the art of manipulation and would stop at nothing to lure or coerce their victims to make money. They would take advantage of the person's vulnerability and poverty, deceive them, and even use force, leaving a perpetual scar on the psyche of their victims.
I'm sad. God, you took my baby away from me.
She got pregnant at the age of 16 and was taken to a clinic by her aunt with a promise that her medical needs and bills would be sponsored. She was confined to a room and was not given access to the outside world. When she protested, she was asked to foot her medical bills, which she couldn't afford.
Enough one. What is it the doctor just told me? You agreed to this, now you're changing your mind. No, you are very free to change your mind though. You have your right. But first, think of refunding all the money we have spent on you. To the last as the milk you drink. From my house to the clinic, you will pay it back. You should have thought of it before taking another rash decision.
So, she succumbed. After giving birth, the doctor and her aunt took the baby from her. She protested and insisted on having her child back, and that is when her life began to be threatened.
My child. How many times have I called? You agreed to this. I don't want it anymore now. I don't want it anymore. I don't want to give me my child. Don't give me my child. I'm not living in this house.
She was offered 100,000 naira, but she insisted that she needs her child. The aunt tried to kill her, drowning in depression till death. She is yet to see her child.
When you see your baby, did you report the matter? What did your mother do, your grandma?
My grandma went to zone 6 and I come out every woman. The doctor now went and bribed those with our police woman.
The doctor was arrested by the police.
Mm.
And that was back to me. Why are they that? What the police, what have they told you about the case?
They said I should forget about the case.
Oh, really? Police said you forget about it. Why?
I don't know.
Most of these clinics, maternity homes, are being used as a place. Sometimes they lie to those women, your child died. I know of a case, a woman was crying, I heard my child cried. I heard, see, your child died. They give it out. So sometimes they bring you a dead child or they just knock you off and tell you that your child died in the process. And if you are not knowledgeable to ask questions, you just leave the home and they've sold your child.
I born pikin, the baby na boy. I come here as the pikin they cry. They can't give me one medicine. Can't carry my pikin comot. Later, they can't give me 100,000. They know say carry me come collect big money for my head. I can't look for my pikin. I can't see one woman where they carry my pikin give. I can't carry the case go police. The police where they for my case can't carry paper give me say make I sign. I don't know wetin the paper they talk about. I can't sign now. Later, come be say na handover, say I carry my pikin give another woman. Since we assign the paper, the case come die like that. The IPO come no dey pick my call again. I come dey look for my pikin. My mama come dey live say I sell my pikin. Come curse me say na if I carry my pikin come back again, na im the curse go comot for my head. Since I come dey look for my pikin well well.
You know, once a girl gets pregnant, you know, there's this natural bonding. So after giving birth, they don't see their child. It traumatizes them seriously. So whether after you said it's now a legal document, the baby was adopted officially, the girl is traumatized.
When once such action were taken without their consent, they do feel bad that they have lost their children and they cannot find again. Some of them will go back, and some of them were in school. You know, they find it very difficult to go back to school. Being pregnant as a student, and then after a while, you go back to that same community, and without the baby, it becomes, you know, most of them are always traumatized.
There is always a story to tell, whether as the victim or as an eyewitness. But over the years, these perpetrators have devised various means to propagate this trade and cause more physical and emotional pain to their victims.
What are you still doing here? Did I not tell you to go back to the person you are going to stop up, go back to the
The girl was 18 years. She had an unwanted pregnancy which they drove her out of the house. So she came to the clinic, directed her to the director's office, and then the woman had to give her a spare room inside the hospital where she was there. And then the day of the delivery came. After a successful delivery, she now said she would not want to sell her baby anymore. The director said that a deal is a deal, that she has to pay for everything she has been enjoying, like the food, the water, the soap, clothing, and every other thing. When she begged and begged, and like she was like, she don't have money and she don't know where to go to bed. She really needs her baby. Then they now injected her with diazepam, and then she slept off. And they took the baby from her and dropped 150 on her body outside the clinic. So when she woke up, she knew she was staying at the clinic now. She now ran to the nearest police station. And then she brought in officers, which they now held. They came and arrested our director, which she now provided the child, which she collected from this girl. And then one thing, you know, our corrupt country now, they now still release her. She came back.
Even the walls built to protect us as citizens have come crumbling to corruption. And the masquerades in this festival of shame keep expanding their shadows. Several researches have shown the place of security agencies in protecting the thriving illegal business, which in turn is heavily funded by influential figures in the community, but nobody ever tells the secret.
The truth is that, like from my own encounter with where I was living, you get to discover that real people, big people, patronize these people.
The scale is even grander than I thought. When I started this journey of investigation, I told a couple of people I'm looking to adopt a baby. And they asked me if I wanted from the ministry or if I wanted other sources. I'm like, what other sources? And then there's another one that they said, did I want a university clinic baby? I'm like, what's a university clinic baby? So all those girls that come to university and they get pregnant, they don't want their parents from out of state to find out. And so they just go to the clinic, and when the baby is due, and they deliver the babies, and the clinics pay them hundreds of thousands and take their babies, and in turn sells it to parents, prospective parents, for 2-3 million. And I was like, what? I can't believe this is happening.
This is a festering wound on the image of the country, and our society is burning from within. But we seem oblivious of the rising pungent smoke. The agents seek out desperate and vulnerable Nigerians to make victims by painting a world of roses and sweets to them. Just when they get that trust, lights off.
I had a friend who confided in me, his own was different. He's an engineer, he services all kind of engines. And he didn't know his client was into baby factory. Each time you go there, you notice that it's only 2 boys that are always in the house. And you find many girls, many children inside. They don't come out. Even when you need something, you are not allowed to ask them. You wait for the 2 guys. And they keep close monitoring of your activities. He said he's not comfortable. We got to discover it's a baby factory. The owner of the place approached him to start sleeping with the girl.
This business now, business will make sense. As you repair can use this on a joint body, you're not a strong man, body they fit. Any girl you put then 100K. 2 girls, 200K, just like that. You don't take there, they lose guy. See, your guy, everywhere does that. You see now. See this one.
These illegal facilities are usually small, parading as private medical clinics, maternity home, or residential apartments, and mostly located in the suburb. Most young girls are lured here, held against their will, and even raped to breed them, so their babies could be sold on the black market.
My neighbor, she just moved into the compound. We were just 2. When she moved in, there were over 6 pregnant girls, just 2 men, no other person in the house. But that apartment is like a lodge. If you are pregnant, you don't want to take care of the baby, you cannot afford antenatal, you come to them, they house you there, they clothe you, they feed you, they take care of every expenses. And at the end of the day, all you need to do is just to take a fee.
For young people, they are vulnerable, especially if the parent have driven them out of the home and the boy responsible is not owning up. So anybody that wants to help or they take them inside the house, they see that person as a savior. Whatever term or condition you give to them, at that point, they will accept it. Sometimes they take their phones away. They don't allow them to come and with their families and they are cut off.
These are people who claim to operate a traditional birth attendance center somewhere. And they also have a prayer center. They introduce themselves as an evangelist, as a pastor, and they do those, they are normal. But for me, who has lived and who has experienced, I know that, that is just to deceive the onlooker because we see what happens inside.
He became worried about the well-being of these girls and the trauma they live with. He contacted his friend, who is a CID, and investigations were carried out. The place was rounded up. The birth attendant and the boys were picked up. The pregnant girls were rescued, and the woman was arrested.
our director go to the village, she'll get mates. She'll, in the name of helping her out in the house and the hospital, maybe cleaners.
It will be as if she's with her mother. Don't worry, you will see her, you'll be thanking me. I don't need thank you.
And then when she brings them to the clinic, you, even as the maid, once since you are timid, I think, or you don't know what, you're not exposed, seeing huge sum of money, you're hearing it, you will feel it's big, and then they will want to do it. They'll be like, ma, can I do it? She say, if you want to, she will now bring men that will sleep with you, and then they will get you pregnant. And they don't just sleep with you, they will time your ovulation. When you're ovulating, that is when the man comes in to sleep so that you can just get pregnant at once. And while you are still pregnant, they'll be sleeping with you till you put to bed so that the delivery will be very easy.
You might think that these nefarious activities will not find its way to some places, but it has been discovered that even the homes where children without parents were to find nurturing and care have somehow been intruded by this injurious crime on humanity, as orphanages are not excluded as a market for selling babies.
Corruption among, not all social welfare officers are corrupt, but social welfare officers that are corrupt and collude with orphanage homes. Those people are the ones that are making the cases of baby factories to increase in the country.
In the name of orphanage home, they are keeping these children and they are selling them out without anybody knowing, because they registered as an orphanage home and people are even giving in children there for them to take care. And what they do, they sell it out.
Between 2020 and 2024, NAPTIP and other security agencies in Nigeria have busted out 200 baby factories across the country and arrested many suspects for illegal harvesting of children. Within this period, 554 cases have been reported, 612 suspects arrested, 157 cases received for prosecution, but only 17 convictions. In Imo State, between 2020 to 2024, 13 cases of baby cells and factory have been reported, 6 girls rescued, 2 babies recovered, 17 suspects arrested, 2 cases received for prosecution, and 0 conviction. While in Akwa Ibom State, a total of 8 cases have been reported, 32 girls rescued, 15 babies recovered, 10 suspects arrested, 4 cases received for prosecution, and 0 conviction. In Cross River State, between 2021, when the command was birthed, to 2024, 27 cases of baby cells and factory have been reported, 76 girls rescued, 39 babies recovered, 49 suspects arrested, 10 cases received for prosecution, and 6 convictions. We may start pointing fingers of blame, but, like the saying, there is always 4 pointed back at us. Our communities, families, leaders, religious organizations, the judiciary, and the entire system have a part to play.
The advice I will give to law agencies handling trafficking cases is to ensure that they bring the person before the court within time as specified by the law, and then get a lawful order so that even the person brings up a case tomorrow to enforce his fundamental right, you have a defense that the person was remanded in prison or in the correctional center by a lawful and legal court order.
There are cases where the buying and selling of babies, like inhumane commodities in the market, are a fallout of delayed adoption process.
As we know, some official government agency, and they are supposed to be the people that people go officially to do adoption, because the demand is high, there's the pile-up of application that they need to, and they cannot meet up. They sometimes, knowingly or unknowingly, I don't know, they have to look elsewhere, and that's trying to get those children from those other centers and give it out. And those ones are not recorded. It's their personal transaction.
So it has turned to a situation like when we have fuel scarcity. People now sell fuel in the black market at increased rates. And so they turned to the black market of sale of children. And that perpetrates a cycle where demand increases, then supply must increase.
Any illegal adoption, nobody has, a defense to say it is this, it is that. When once a person or a culprit is caught, the person will definitely face the law. Adoption is a process recognized by government, and government has also set out procedures which must be followed. It takes a long time. Yes, I agree that it might take a long time because there are procedures and there are things that ought to be done so that these children do not fall into the wrong hands.
And you discover that the motivating factor of these perpetrators who engage in this crime is for no other reason other than for profit. Trafficking is the third most profitable crime in the world globally. It is generating a lot of money with little detection about it.
It's a huge money maker. So it's a whole network of people that are interconnected to propagate this trade. They are the financiers, the big boys that own the clinics, that owns the buildings, that owns the orphanages, that owns places where they keep these girls, that finance, that provide nurses, that deliver these children, that pay doctors that deliver these babies and test that these babies are healthy. Then they are the foot soldiers in communities that scout for these babies. Then they are even the girls themselves who comes looking for this. They are pregnant, they want to sell their babies.
They'll call me on the phone, say, hey, there is uncle. There is uncle. I've not seen my period for about 2-3 months. And I'm scared. What do we do? I'm in the village and I don't want my mom to know. I've started, behaving somehow. So please, can you help me? I'm trying to what to do. So I need to get from the village so that I'll never notice anything. And keep me somewhere and please assist me on what to do. Maybe let's see if somebody can, at the end of the 9 months or what, buy me baby and then give me some money. Of course, we're in society in a way. There are some couples, who don't have kids, who want to adopt kids, who have been trying to adopt baby. Maybe because of the cost of going through the formal way, going through the whatever the some, or the Ministry of Social Welfare. Too much. So if such a thing occurs, they can say, okay, come, we'll keep you in a place we stay. Able to do that for some of them. So, okay, this family arranged within the family, they keep the baby in a different place, but not in their own very family. So that lady will not come back to claim ownership of the child because it's an agreement. She is down and she needs money. So they pay this money, then we get lost.
So all these factors give rise to the increasing number of sale of babies and baby factories in Nigeria.
So there are many triggering factors: and poverty, lack of knowledge, a broken system. But then, because we understand this, it makes their lives better. Does it justify illegal harvesting and sale of children? It does not.
It's not right. But on the other hand, instead of them aborting the baby, in the process they might lose their life. It's not better. So some people are out there at the other hand, looking for something. Some couples are married for about 15 years. They don't have an issue. They want to adopt. And there you see a little girl get pregnant, to the bush and to the toilet, or in the process of trying to contact abortion, she loses her life.
Once a law prescribes an action, you do not go ahead to do that action and then you come and say, it is because I don't have a child, it is because this one and that.
The woman will not get husband. I don't get the next chance. I no wan comot any of them. I can't tell my friends. He can't help me find one family wey need pikin. The first time I send my pikin give them, they give me 150,000. I come put am for my business. The second time I send my pikin give another family, they come give me 100,000. Say make I use am feed my family.
I met one who said that for her it's a business. for her is a business. She had done 3 before, and that was the 4th one. The first, she even said that before the business was paying. The first time she got 400,000 for a boy. The second time it was a girl, 200,000. The third one, it was a girl. They gave her 200,000. So if it's a boy, the money increases. If it's a girl, the money increases.
Poverty is very germane to it. But essentially, you see that greed plays a very important factor, as well as issues of ignorance and illiteracy.
Once a girl says, oh, I can get money by selling my baby, that's it. The girl might even stop going to school.
Solving this problem becomes not just a them problem, but an us problem. Youth Alive Foundation Africa brings together a coalition of stakeholders to shine a light on the dark chasm hiding these practices, to address it and bring an end to the harvesting of babies.
So what Youth Alive has done so far is to create support in creating awareness in secondary school, including NAPTIP. We've been trying to go around schools to establish vanguards like club where girl students can be sensitized early to begin to watch out for these signs.
So this partnership with Youth Alive Foundation has been a very strategic one and an important aspect of our work. I want to continue the partnership because we want to make sure that we rid Nigeria of this evil of human trafficking.
So the system, the infrastructure required to support the investigation and prosecution of offenders is weak, and it's not in the hand of NAPTIP. NAPTIP are the agency responsible for checking child trafficking, human trafficking, but then they are not equipped enough to do their work fully as they should.
It is clear to anybody that NAPTIP is not an arm-bearing institution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. We rely on our sister agencies whose operative bear arms to assist us where we have cases of human trafficking. In Imo, I don't have a shelter in Imo State. I don't have detention facilities in Imo State. So I rely on the facilities by sister law enforcement agencies. You rely on them to provide operational support. Sometimes when you go, they have their own line of duty, and they have responsibility to their mother agency, not you.
Another challenge we also have is that people generally are afraid to share intelligence with us. Maybe because of their experience with other agencies where if you release an information, you get up being indicted. So that fear makes the general public not to even speak out when they see something wrong.
Some will be willing to come out and then testify that we have been having, but some will be unwilling because it involves either their aunts, it involves their uncles, it involves close family relative, and so the family within the family, arrangement, they will meet and then begin to have an agreement amongst themselves.
A matter that I started in 2021, up to today, the victim testimony have not been taken by the court.
In the battle against this devil's horn, everyone must play a role. Nobody is without a pen to change the script. From the media to civil society, social welfare officers, medical centers, security agencies, and the judiciary. NAPTIP reports of cases where the judiciary have been unjust and falsely hastened the court proceedings of arrested offenders on basis of willingly surrendering of babies by honest despite her responsibility as a center to hold justice together. There is a necessity to show the truth to these young girls, as most of them think their actions are harmless without even realizing they endanger themselves and hurt the innocent existence of those babies.
An undocumented child is a child at risk. So, child harvesting, baby factories, sale of children is not a victimless crime. And I think that all stakeholders, CSOs, governments, international development partners, they need to rise up and say, no, the Nigerian child is not for sale. Because in that process, the lives of many young girls are destroyed. So it's a very serious issue and we need to turn attention to it.
In reality, we do not know where these children end up, whether they fall into the hands of pedophiles, are subjected to sexual exploitation, or worse, these children's lives needs protection. Their rights need advocacy. This is not a victimless crime. It is imperative that we recognize and address the root causes: poverty, lack of education, and the need for better reproductive health programs. The clock ticks for us to reclaim the stolen innocence of our communities and restore hope, knowing that the future of our nation depends on us. The time to act is now, and the pain to change the script is in our hands. Together, we can write a new chapter of hope, dignity, and freedom.
I would not advise any young girl or any pregnant woman to do what I did, because today I'm alive and I was rescued, but others may be there and may go into it, but may not succeed. At the end, you may die. Well, I'm happy. I'm really happy having my own child safe and sound.